Are you looking to start an LLC, turn your hobby into a new business? And are you wondering, what do I need to do to make sure I create all the necessary documents so that my LLC is compliant? We're going to talk about that today and go over what you need to do to make sure your LLC is fully functional for your new business. I'm Mark Peterson, the owner of Snake River Law, where we help our clients form businesses, but also ensure that they're legally compliant throughout the existence of that business. So the first thing you need to do, which may seem a little silly, but it's to think of a name of your LLC. Once you have thought of that name, you do need to verify that that name would be available in the state where you're at. And you can check, usually on your Secretary of State website, there is a business record search where you can actually search to see if that name is available. So assuming the name is available, the next thing you would do would be to file with your Secretary of State to get your certificate of organization. So that's the document where the government entity essentially acknowledges that your business is now in existence. And they essentially authorize you to do business within that state. Once you have that certification of organization back from the state, you can apply for an EIN number, so an employer identification number with the IRS. And once that number is essentially the equivalent of a social security number for tax purposes, but it's specific to your business. So when filing a tax return, you'll use that EIN number. When acquiring a bank account, you'll use that EIN number, and it'll come up in other circumstances as well. But an EIN number is critical to your LLC to make sure that you can file the taxes correctly and obtain bank accounts and other things necessary to the LLC. So those are the basic bare bone things that you need to have an LLC formed with the state and to have it ready for tax purposes. But in order to have a strong LLC that's correctly formed from a corporate shield perspective, so making sure you have a liability shield if you ever have any issues in the future, you need more than just the basics. So in addition to that, you do need to create an operating agreement, which is essentially the governing document of the LLC, how it's going to be governed, who the members are. Essentially, any type of decision making is outlined in that operating agreement. You also need to outline who your members are and any of their contribution shares, what their percentages are, and have that all set out. Now, that's important for a lot of different reasons, but just from a tax perspective, an accountant would need to know who the members are to issue proper tax documentation at the end of the year. As just one example. The other thing you need is your organizational meeting and your annual meeting minutes that you need to have as part of your corporate documents. So this is one area where a lot of LLCs fail they fail to do it at all, let alone document it. But this is really important because a company, a business, an LLC needs to have proof that they are operating the business as a business. And these organizational and annual meeting minutes help to do that. They also help to set out who your managers are, who your directors and officers are, and have that all very clear. The last thing would be just to make sure that you have a good detailed tracking on your membership ledger and any capital contributions that may have been made to the company, so that if there's ever a dissolution event where the company has to be sold or dissolved in any way, that those capital contributions can be repaid to the person that contributed to that in the first place. So just to recap, to have a strong corporate shield for your LLC, you have to do more than just form it with the state. So you need to do that. You need to get your certification of organization with the state, get your EIN number, but then also make sure to have your operating agreement, your membership ledger and membership certificates, and then your organizational meeting notes. And then every year, make sure you're conducting your annual meetings and keeping notes of that and minutes of that, and if necessary, special meetings in between the annual meetings. All of those things are necessary to have a strong corporate shield, just in case anything ever happens to where there's a liability concern for your business. If you need help setting up an LLC or just have questions about what documents you need for an LLC, definitely give us a call at Snake River Law. Our phone number is 208-406-9885. We'd love to help our small business clients establish a strong corporate shield and make sure that they have everything that they need to be successful in their businesses.